What's up, everyone? You're watching Cannell Games, and this is the final episode of Season 2 of this Football Manager 2017 save. We have one game left. It is the Tester Challenge Cup final against Barcombe. And Barcombe, if you remember, was the team that we beat on the last day of the season, ensuring that we actually won the league, and Barcombe fell out of a promotion spot. And what I was looking at earlier, we'll obviously recap the league in full later on, but looking at our past league positions, it was quite the exciting season. We dropped down to last place early on, and then by the halfway point, we were in the top half, but we dropped as low as 4th, and then did not get into 1st until the very last day of the season. So a pretty exciting season for us, but we'll get into that in terms of a recap in a little more detail after our final match of the season. We can go through, players of the year, the goal of the year, and all that fun stuff moving into our second off season, where we're going to have to retool once again, and probably make quite a few replacements and adjustments to our squad in order to be competitive in the 7th division of the Mid-Sussex Football League. So our match today is against, as I said, Barcombe. They're going to be playing this 4-3-3 with a defensive midfielder. But hopefully we can have the similar success that we've had against them in the past. You can see on that previous page we won both of our league matchups against them. For the final game of the season, we're not going to have any changes to our starting 11. Joe Lamplow, Ryan Hutchinson, Jack Humphrey, and Logan Jeffs across our back line with Niall Mayer in goal. Joe Harrison, Ollie Hotchkiss, Reese Hayes, Connor Martin in the midfield positions with Nathan Randall and Matthew Clark up front. Ryan Salmon ready to come in off the bench. Our winger replacement, Tamar Clayton out. Brett Walker, Jack Fixter, and Jack Lynch as our other substitutions. No tactical changes. This is what won us the league. So here we are in our first cup final, and it could be our second piece of silverware that we hoist in back-to-back games. So let's hope we can accomplish that today. A little bit of a slow start, but that's how it typically goes. Clark works it towards the box, gets tackled. Connor Martin picks up the ball, plays over to Reese Hayes. Reese Hayes, Hotchkiss at the top of the box, gets deflected. Are they calling that a no? Okay, I was worried that they might have been calling that offside because the assistant wasn't moving. Let's take a see who this takes a deflection off of. I thought it might have been Nathan Randall, but it looks like since Hotchkiss is credited with the goal, I think it deflects off the center back there. So here we have Martin recycling the ball over to Hayes. Hayes, Hotchkiss, you can see has a bit of room there to step in, and it does deflect off the defender into the bottom corner of the net. So a little bit fortunate for us there, but it was a good strike, good piece of ball movement outside the box. And if you give Hotchkiss that much space outside the 18-yard box, he's shown a few times this season to be fairly deadly. Also from free kicks, but that one is blocked there. Could this be the first chance for Barcombe? It is not. We retain possession again. Joe Harrison up to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss plays it forward, easily intercepted by the fullback. And here comes Barcombe, recycling possession in the middle of the park. Spice takes the ball, looks to play it out to the wing, and he cuts in to our massive defenders into the middle, finds some space for him. Hargreaves back over, I can't even pronounce that name, Lou, I don't know. Wins a corner though. Russell swings in the corner to Hargreaves. Hargreaves plays it back to Russell. Russell puts it into the box, and that's dealt with by Martin. Russell plays it in. Lamplow clears that one away, and Nathan Randall picks up the ball, and we can launch a bit of a counterattack here. Randall over to Harrison. Harrison's got a lot of space on the wing. We have numbers getting into the box now. That's a poor cross. Had to sort of, scramble it away as he was getting under pressure. If he sort of took a touch earlier, it may have been okay. Harrison plays it forward to Randall. Randall can't get on the end of it. Harrison back to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss into Hayes. Hayes plays it over to Martin. Martin, with a poor first touch, loses the ball there. Humphrey battles out with Barcombe's forward there and wins. Harrison again screaming down the left wing, and he's able to draw a foul. And this could be a bit of a dangerous area to sort of whip one into the box. Hotchkiss plays it in, sort of floats it in there, but it doesn't get past the first line of defense. Lamplow recycles it back to Harrison. Harrison over to Hotchkiss again. Hotchkiss plays it into the middle to Hayes. Hayes plays it out to the wing, but it's intercepted by Russell. Hayes gives it to Martin. He's got a little bit of space. We're just not getting on the end of those crosses. That's okay. Hutchinson dispossesses him. Clark is in one-on-one on the goalie. Clark makes no mistake. He only has 8 finishing, but he's been surprisingly strong in terms of finishing his chances. And there's another example there. Outpaces the defender in one-on-one on the keeper. Doesn't make any mistake. Right along the bottom. Difficult to save. And we are up 2-0 with only 2 shots on target. Humphrey wins it over to Hayes. Hayes to Martin. Martin plays it over to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss loops it over to Harrison. Harrison on the wing. Plays it into the box. Randall really should have hit that one. Oh, man. Oh, I don't know how he missed that chance. But he had like the whole net there all by himself. That's all right. Into the box here. Can we clear? That looks like it's going to be a corner. And corner to Barcombe. They are getting the odd chance. They're having a bit more of the possession than we are, but that's in the net there. Russell whips in the cross near post to Hargreaves. Hargreaves just sort of flicks his header. He's just not really well marked. Who is that? Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss is there, but he's not doing anything. He's just in the vicinity of Hargreaves, which, isn't all that useful. And bouncing it around. Randall sort of got on the end of it there. It's back, though. Jeffs can keep the pressure on, plays it back in. Harrison plays it over to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss into Harrison. Harrison falls to Clark. That was intended to go to Randall, but it bounces over to Clark, and he makes no mistake, puts it into the top corner of the net. And that puts him easily into sole possession of the leading scorer for the season for the club. You can see it played forward to Harrison, but it's deflected onto his left foot, into the top corner. And Clark has his 17th goal of the season for us in all competitions. He's had a very good season. That actually ties Ryan Salmon's record from last season in all competitions. So if he can find a hat trick in the second half, he could be our leading goal scorer or single season goal scoring leader. Obviously, Ryan Salmon did have a couple this season, so he still holds that title for us. Now Hargreaves, the goal scorer, puts some pressure on Jeffs. Jeffs just plays it out for a throw-in. And that'll do our introductory highlight for the second half. Humphrey loops it forward to Hayes. Hayes to Hotchkiss. Hotchkiss back to Hayes. Hayes and Hotchkiss again. Plays it up to Clark. To Hotchkiss again. Into Clark. I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, but it got intercepted by Spice. But there's just no pressure on our fullbacks, and we're able to hold on to possession there. Lamplow now into Hayes. Hayes back over to Hotchkiss. Back to Hayes again. Our center midfield is trading the ball back and forth. They look to probe in. Clark finds some space, but he has his back turned to the net. Plays it into Randall. Randall into the back of the net. Wonderful assist there by Clark. Good ball movement from our central midfielders. Nathan Randall gets his 15th goal of the season. And we're up 4-1 and looking very, very comfortable with about 40 minutes to play. 40 minutes to play, and we are up 4-1 in the Tester Challenge Cup final. Hotchkiss lofts that over the net. We've done very, very well. We've won back to 50% possession. Hotchkiss holds on to it again. At the net, just over the bar. That would have been quite the strike. Now a chance. Now, there's still lots of time. Here's Collins with the ball. And that's in the back. Now that's 4-2. 35 minutes to play. They've had 2 chances fall to them. They haven't made any mistakes on those 2 chances. Our defender sort of just lurched up there and left Collins unmarked. Center of the 18-yard box there. Well placed into the bottom left corner. And they've pulled one back. 4-2. May have to look into some subs at one point. Hotchkiss picks it up at the top of the 18-yard box. Back over to Jeffs. Jeffs plays it into Hayes. Hayes over to Martin. Martin gets dispossessed, but it's picked up by Humphrey. Collins has the ball now. Over to Lure. Lure plays it forward to Hargreaves. Hargreaves poor first touch there from him. Has to play it back to Lure. Lure back up to Hargreaves. Jeffs is able to cut it out. Hayes sort of recycles that and plays it forward, but Randall was sort of pulling back and didn't time his run properly. Forster plays it forward to Hargreaves. Hargreaves wins the aerial battle there against Humphrey. into Collins, and they've pulled back 4-3. And this is not going well. All right, so they're starting to turn things around. Jack Lynch there. Go counterattack. Just keep more men behind the ball. We're getting sort of cut out just on those quick little breaks. And Jack Lynch immediately gets a yellow. It's always good to see. But here comes Clark. Clark over to Randall. Randall back to Clark. Clark over to Jack Lynch. Jack Lynch plays it into Randall. Randall over to Clark. And Clark looking for his hat trick. Just tipped over the bar. Jack Lynch is going to whip in a cross for us. Puts the corner into the box. Doherty's able to clear and scramble that away, but we retain possession on a throw. Here's another chance coming for Barcombe. Lure over to Forster. Forster up onto the wing to Harris. Back in the middle to Lure. Plays it Doherty with some space in the middle. Plays it over to Collins, who scored their last 2 goals. Collins has been causing us some problems today. Harris on the wing. Lofts it. I'm not sure if that was supposed to be a shot or a cross that he just sort of scrambled away, but that's a goal kick and they lose possession. Jack Lynch plays it into the box. Dunn cuts it out. Jack Lynch is able to retain it over Lure there. Jeff's over to Humphrey. Humphrey plays it back to Lynch. Lynch back to Harrison. Harrison lobs it forward to Randall. Randall puts it to Clark. Randall over to Harrison. Harrison gets dispossessed and is played forward, but Hutchinson's able to regroup. Plays it back to Mayer. We can recycle possession. Played forward to Harrison. Harrison flicks it on to Randall. Randall flicks it on to Clark. Clark. Oh. That would have been, one, a goal to make me breathe a little bit easier, but also for his hat trick would have been a really great moment there for us. Hayes back to Clark. Clark over to Martin. Martin into Clark. Clark over to Randall. Randall doesn't really get a whole lot on that chance. We can make another adjustment here. I think Brett Walker in for Reese Hayes, as we do, as we have typically done in the past. And I think we likely won't make any further adjustments, I don't think. But we'll see how things go. Walker gets his first little chance to touch the ball. Clark into Randall. Randall puts a good shot on net. Martin tries to curl it back into the box, but Davies is able to clean that up. 10 minutes to go. We're holding on here. Getting the bulk of the chances again. Harris just snatches that over the bar. We're looking okay. I'm a little nervous. But Walker plays it in. That was incredibly awkward looking. But we'll take the corner with only a couple minutes left to play. If Jack Lynch can put in a good ball here. Puts it in. Humphrey wins the header, but it's over the bar. And with just a couple minutes to play, can we hold on for our first cup victory as in this club's history? Jack Lynch looks to take a shot, but is right into the wall, and Hargreaves and Collins can start the final counterattack. Ryan Hutchinson, that's a good foul. Slows down their counterattack. We can get numbers back. Davies plays back to Forster. Forster puts it down to Humphrey. Humphrey can't really get rid of it. Jeffs scrambles it away for a throw-in. 15 seconds to play. Dunn plays it into Hargreaves. Hargreaves, they need to get it into the box, and they don't in time, and we are able to win. And everyone just walks off. I don't know what it is with these lower leagues. Maybe there's something. I thought players celebrated on the pitch. At least that's how I remembered it. So we won. Good performance. Made it a little dicey near the end there. But it's our last game of the season, and we won a trophy, so you can't be too harsh with them. You can see for the competition, Matthew Clark with 6 goals, Nathan Randall with 3. Matthew Clark really stepped up in this final here with 2 goals and an assist. Obvious man of the match performance from him. So we've won the double. The prestigious Tester Challenge Cup. So that's great for us there. We're given $651 for that. Apparently, I continue the tradition of winning. The only things we've won are the last 2 things that I've done. So, please the board with that. Hopefully, with that consortium takeover and new ownership and everything like that, hopefully winning a double will will placate the board and they won't want to get rid of me. You can see my job is very secure, but who knows what that actually means moving forward. So I'm going to quickly jump forward to sort of the end of season recaps, and we'll go over that together. Okay, so our club's overall best 11. You can see Nathan Randall has actually supplanted Ryan Salmon as our starting striker. Reese Hayes and McDodds are both in there. McDodds didn't feature at all this season, but last year I guess he was so impressive he's still there. Ollie Hotchkiss, Connor Martin, Leroy Jennings has stuck around. Jack Fixter, despite not really featuring near the end of the season, is there. Ryan Hutchison worked his way into the side. Jay Taylor remains from last season. Carl Stone is our left back. Sort of on and off, starting left back last season, on and off starter this season, still in our overall starting 11. So the new players that have moved in, you can see here, Matthew Clark, Connor Martin, Joe Harrison, Jack Fixer, Ryan Hutchison, Logan Jeffs, and Niall Mayer. A lot of them, like Jeffs, Harrison, and Clark as substitutions. So that's nice. You can see we have our Christmas tree formation from last season. So end of season awards, Nathan Randall as our player of the season, 40% of the vote. Ollie Hotchkiss with the goal of the season on April 21st against Barcombe, so we'll have to take a look at that one. Sunny of the season was Brett Walker. Young player of the season, Nathan Randall. Top goal scorer was Matthew Clark. Nathan Randall with the highest average rating. Ollie Hotchkiss and Joe Harrison tied for most assists. Brett Walker completed 84% of his passes. 4 times Nathan Randall was man of the match. 6 yellows for Joe Lamplow, and Lamplow and Jack Lynch each had a red. And remember, Jack Lynch's red was in his club debut. So let's quickly take a look at this goal of the season from Ollie Hotchkiss against Barcombe, and I believe this is in the final match of the season, of the regular season, rather. So the ball comes out to Hotchkiss, top of the box, finds some space, drills it right into the top corner. Yeah, we saw that one last episode together. No surprises there. It was a great strike and sent us to the top of the table, or helped send us to the top of the table. So looking at our season review, looking at the 5 competitions that we were in, we lost in the second round of the Parsons Challenge Cup, which was the most disappointing, but we did win the Tester Challenge Cup, we did win the division, and then we lost in the quarterfinal and then the semifinal, so not too terrible in all competitions. Our average attendance jumped up to 71%. I think we were at 1% full last season. We're up to 7% full this season, so a fairly substantial growth, which isn't too bad. Used 23 players. I think that's fewer than last season. I think we were up into the 30s last season. I can't remember entirely. We lost 2-0 to Ardingly, which was our disappointing defeat of the season, but we did beat. We had a lot of wins, and I'm surprised that this 4-0 victory over Cuckfield is the one to choose from the bunch, but so be it. I'll do the team meeting in a second. Confidence review, you can see everyone's fairly confident, fairly happy. No injuries. We are actually fairly lucky this season in terms of injuries. Nathan Randall did go down for a little bit, but he only missed a couple of games. Ryan Salmon is depreciating a little bit in terms of his abilities, but we already knew that heading in. Ryan Wilkinson is apparently improving, but he still isn't really good enough to enter into our club. So, I think that's just about it. I'm going to jump ahead just a little bit further and see if there's anything else that we can cover moving forward before we sort of wrap this one up. And then the next episode, I'll do a little recap of the off season and our first matchup of our third season in this save for us. Okay, so yeah, I'll jump ahead, do some of the team meetings, do some of the housekeeping, and then we'll wrap this one up together. Okay, well, I think this is as good a place as any to end this one. You can see that we've survived our takeover. So the new chairman was impressed, and we've been allowed to stay at the club. They have lifted the transfer embargo, so I'll be able to sign new players, and our youth system will remain uncategorized. So we'll see. Maybe I can actually request some improvements. You can see that we do have a little bit of money now. We're up to a little over 13,000. We've had a fairly good season in terms of bringing in money and sort of minimizing whatever costs we have, which are almost none. Like, we don't pay salaries. The youth setup apparently costs us $556. Scouting costs are there, but aside from that, didn't really have to pay a whole lot. The biggest thing, obviously, you can see here is like ground maintenance, and then whatever this other is. I don't know what this other is. And then obviously traveling and stuff like that. So we've survived that. Clark, oh, that's different Clark. Snubs a little thing there. So I'll jump even further ahead for our next episode. I'll work through the offseason, make any signings that we need, maybe release some of the dead weight you can see on our under 18 squad. It's fairly large. Probably want to trim it down to just the players that may one day develop. So I'll have to take a look at that and sort of go through that and do all that little bit of housekeeping there. And then we'll do a bit of a recap of my offseason before we get into the first matches of our third season of this challenge, where we're trying to rise as far as we can through the 22 tiers of English football. So if you've enjoyed this video and you're enjoying the series so far, please subscribe, leave a like, or a comment below, and let me know what you're liking, what you're disliking, and I'll speak to you next time.